Hi, folks. Let's give everyone a minute here to get settled in, and then we'll get started. New background, Asheville, North Carolina, my friends. I'm getting ready to do some hiking today. So, all right. We'll get started here in just a few moments. We'll let people roll in. Huge apologies for the time mess up. Not for you, Instagram folks, you're fine, but for the YouTube, we had the live unintentionally set at like 4 a.m. Eastern instead of 2 p.m. We'll be creating these lives a few weeks out going forward, so they're not so spontaneous. But there's been a lot of shifts and movement, within everything, especially with us launching the Library of Creation, which we'll talk about here in just a little bit. So so excited to be here. Cool. So again, we'll just give it a few minutes and um, just calm me down for a moment. Hold on a minute. Dile shiliere dare shiroto shirotari at takari or tomore shiroto. Babaleria toriarati kalere shirataro shirotoro tequilameatia shaleria roshiro tokoro tokomambukuri shiata kamaleriaria. All right. Just kind of calming you down, kind of bring me into the moment. So let's go ahead and get started. So, it's glad to see everyone, right? Like I mentioned, I'm in Asheville, North Carolina now, checking the scene out, right? Literally checking the scene. Gonna do some hiking today. Get some more video for you guys for the social media, which I absolutely love. The weather is beautiful, right? Versus the crazy heat that we have down in Florida. So certainly looking forward to that. But listen, we all notice something that happens every year around this time, don't we? Right. And that is, right, the whole world starts moving again. So you see it outside first. The trees start waking up. The water starts moving again. Things that look pretty quiet all winter suddenly aren't. And that's kind of exactly what I'm in here in Asheville, right? Starting to see all the trees bud, right? The birds, the weather's just amazing. So this is a time we actually get moving a little more. So listen, say hi if you're here live and share where you're tuning in from today. Yeah, absolutely. So the interesting thing is the body follows the same rhythm, right? Winter is basically a conservation phase, right? For me personally, that's when the inner tube grows around the waist, right? Come spring, come summer, we work to get rid of that inner tube, the insulation layer. So, but things slow down, right? And energy pulls inward. So, and then spring shows up and it starts pushing upward again, right? And people suddenly feel like life wants to move, right? Has anybody been feeling that lately? Like something's starting to shift or move again? I feel the energy personally, right? I'm again right up here in Nashville, and I was talking to my team. I'm like, why am I here? Like, why am I in Nashville? And they're like, hey, you're here to do some of that inner work, which you guys are all doing, right? And I struggle with those inner work myself. I'm just like you guys. Like I'm trying to find my own answers, and my team doesn't give me information about me. They're kind of stingy like that. They tell me everything about you guys, but they're stingy with me, right? So, anyways, things start changing, don't they? People start thinking about changing jobs, starting projects, moving, like I just did, right? Your decisions that you've been waiting for, you start making those decisions again. So, anyways, things change. We move forward, and that's what this live is about, right? So I am curious. So does this time of year usually feel energizing for you, or more like an adjustment period? Just to share your thoughts in the chat. We're definitely taking a look at the chat as I'm going back and forth here, right? So one thing that doesn't get talked about much is how much the body is involved in this change, right? So spring is connected to the liver and the gallbladder. Didn't know that myself, right? But those pathways influence things like direction, planning, momentum. And when they're flowing well, people tend to feel clear, motivated, right? Uplifted, right? And when they're congested, it feels harder, exhaustion, just don't want to move forward, right? So, right. This, when I'm doing these lives, I get these flashes of people I have worked on and I say me, the KDC. And I got to tell you, there was a woman a couple years ago in Sarasota. I was doing an in-person event there, and she comes in with her friend, and she's shuffling her feet. She's in a lot of pain in her feet. Like, she has to have assistance to walk. And you know she sits down, and I ask her what's going on, and she had neuropathy in her feet, which I really didn't know what neuropathy was, but it was that pain, that massive nerve pain in her feet, and she hadn't been able to really be mobile, and I want to say over a year. Like, she was really struggling, and this woman is a real estate agent. She wasn't able to do her job anymore, and she was terrified that she would never be able to do her job again. So she sits down, and the KDC begins doing the work on her. And it took a little longer then than it does now. Now it just takes moments. Back then it took, almost a hour session we had with her, I think 45 minutes. But as we're doing this, I had her stand up and begin walking around in the room, and she was able to do unassisted. Not only that, but her shuffling feet actually began walking again, right? Was she in discomfort? She was still in a little bit of discomfort, but the KDC was able to come up and remove the majority of that pain. Now she's back into real estate. I see her posts all the time, happy, doing what she absolutely loves to do. Again, right? This is, clearing. This is moving forward. So, I don't often remember the majority of my sessions because I'm up there, but there are some that stand out, and she was absolutely one of them. So anyways, just one of those things I wanted to share. But listen, I want to do some activations on you guys today, right? I think that's why we're all here. Yes, you love my stories, you love my information, but I know why you're really here. You're here to get some of that KDC love, right? Some of that light language, right? And as you guys all know, even though I may say a thing and do a thing, you're getting your codes, and that's what this is all about. So these activations, you just get to set your intention and just notice what you notice in your system. And yeah, I'll talk about the library creation a little bit as well. God, I'm so in love with that thing. It's the one place I can go to actually get work done on me, right? All right. So again, anytime you're in a group session, just bubble up, right? Just visualize that beautiful bubble around you. Team's going to do it for you as well. And now I'm going to come in. I'm just going to clear your energetic field. All right? Nothing you need to do. Just relax. Borishiro Toriaro Hishiritia, Gorishiliaro Toroshiro Gorishko Calabalero Kadikisko and Malaria Malariati, Nariarishiro Toroshiro Torishka Malaria, Corbario Shiriata, Tara Malaria, Dirishiro Toroshiro Toroshko Malaria, Corbario Malaria, Madorishiro Malaria, Milico Shiriko Malapu, Kurmacaliato, Riarishina Malia Torricalero, Shiriero Malaria, Torishiro Toro Corbalero Canadic. Again, I'm just working on your field, your energetic field outside of you, and also the energetic field inside of you. A little bit of both. Pulling out some of that trapped energy. Cool. You guys ready for your activations? Right? All right. First one. Again, we say a thing, we do a thing. It's clear that winter stagnation. And yes, winter is a funny term in Florida, but winter, regardless of stagnation. Here we go. Caliare shiratir mama caliarato, ure malaria lera necaleno retiro tari, you took the shit at the killer malaria arata, alamabare macalabaretore rocarero corregishitiroto carota, cura malerity shiratari, torre shidatia, Kurmalero Toro Shina Kalale Kalero Karabare Karakiti Kurmayapoco, Mapadero Carriero Carri, Terio Shirator Malere Yarato, not a Mapuri Yaroto de Shira Caleri Yarato, Coreno Corporea Caledish, the Tarade Cadoro de Cushinata. Give me a second here. I'm just going to pull some energy through you. This is some nice, beautiful. Shkamaleo Tao, Uri Shin Natalia, Uriaro Torera Kalama, Keleli Aratili, Ritariara Tare, Kelira Kalakishin Tao, Kuriarata. Okay. This next activation, right? To restore circulation through the torso. Militariaro torre calere cresci calera calera melero calero calere che si ricorda calere con to corriscida to puri no puri ro shidata or torre de calera na calera to torre chico to cordo coloro corriscida torre correro carameleri ya ti calere con to carameleri garia tia correro corrisci calere calere con to caramelero con to corro che si corro caramelero autoriano to torre de calera con torre de corro caramelero corrigo che ti calere con carameleri ala caramelero con to caramelero corrio carameleri calore corriscida calere corrisci to Tirishira Taro, Torro, Shiro, Torre, Kirura, Shiro, Torro, Shiro, Shiro, Malaya, Ora Mamalora, Shiro, Torro, Caramalero, Retikiri, Yeri, Rotoria, Kurashiro, Torro, Konorish, Caramalea, Malero, Autore, Kidoski, Pieti, Caria, Kirmania, Calera, and Caradico, Torre, Shiratale, Lecaric, this put the energy flow back in the body. Neriara Tari, Eurotori, Calera, Shiro, clear those blockages, Caramalero, Malero, Torre, Corapoloto, Urashiro, Torre, the Calera. Mitica Calamele, Kuramaler Torero, Shida Takarapaki, Kinamele, Nakariao, Toreno Koreapo, Kurishinatia, Komalearata. All right. We're going to support upward movement in the body, more flexibility, more movement, more forward motion, more desire to move forward in all aspects, if you will. Shilera Tariara, Kiliro Shinotorre, Capo, Kura, Bakama, Tiatakar, the Kashiti, the Capo, Ku. Dura calena lede ale talero de calero to corre de kiliara tar shidotore ma poculi retar tono teki corma balera tono corre to kinishidotore cala tariata kiloto dure takar diro torre kileshika makara makilo torre kirata corra bakiliara torre shidata corre to corre pekiriata cariata ora ma baki nana makuna caro to capo curito 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 torre colletto conosci to correte criticar repo repicare che non gamaneti cariato mule scelere auro taro sino torre conosci carpecchia ma poco kishinata bakamoku kishi amaki kunoshinata. All right, and the last activation here, we're going to do another one, a free form after this, but again, sit tight. This one here is strengthen your system. So again, it can move without strain, right? A little similar to one we just did, but Narmalera nari neki ni to in the correct carrot correction di cariata Dalma Baki and Barcotori Shitatar Corte Kilo Shikadera Malaya Macao Tauku Darma Male Maleta Tade Dalo Tado Corretto Category Shikiloto Alco Bocadito Corretto Corredicate Corretta Carmalerica Corretto Correct Piquilia Carma Balea Oreao Nenema Malero Nori and Shitataka Kerema Balea Learo Tori Shiniata. All right. So cool. So in the comments, let me know if you guys felt any shifts, right, during that. I do want to do one more. I call this a free form, right? A free flow, which is basically you get to set your own intentions. And we're going to allow the team to come in and just work on you. So take the moment right now. Ask your team for whatever it is that you're looking for. You don't need to put that in the chat. This is just for you. And once you make that simple request, right? Not complicated. Make it one thing. Let's not overcomplicate things, right? Then I just want you to drop into that happy place, that memory, that emotion of gratitude, of happiness, of joy, the things that bring a smile to your face, and just hold that happiness for a moment and release what you just asked for. Pashikalo takara shida takimia ta makara ta Ola mamalero toria torire tina taro tiro toro ti coreto capo cura por tore corre scinetama kilo to cauro tia nanama pa cura to carero caresci de toro to canuti co ti scidi cade bedi cura to carabaleri ara taria carate cade 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 bedi che scidi di bedi che non to nanama pa cara malero no to canore cara bedi code che scidi cade bedi cade cade bedi che c'era baleri galeri carote cade bedi che due scidi ati cade 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 nan malero auto de caro toro de cade scidi to cade bedi che cade bedi che cade bedi che scidi bedi apu ku no pakira ka nan mamalo te yamento cara makura por to au que de belene correte que nera correte que cara baleri aroto que la mamakare tar torta con asharota gura maletia kalma maleri aroto reshiro toro chikshna ta kalma loro tore de kaleri etiara taria cura baloro toro shinatale mamalero toria to cara tishinita maki cura mamakale eta Mumashia takoro tomoko kapaki leta aleta karota kono to karoshine tomo korea komakale eta nanama malere tareara tarati shiro toro del pirna takama takare to koro to koretikia natamashine takanamente kadeko tiko tekshina tara leta koro to koma kore to kariatikia kali roto alereshi kormolero no torera mapatoto kato korea pakure di shinieta makariarata. All right, so stick around. I got a couple more things here I want to talk about, and then at the end of the live, I'll start taking some requests, and we'll have some fun with that, right? So sit tight. So integration, right? Usually, when circulation improves, these are the little things that feel complicated start feeling simpler, and not because you force clarity, just because the body has more room. Many of you should start feeling what I call lighter right now, simply meaning that your body just feels a little lighter. I don't think the scale actually reflects that. I have tested it, but you feel more motion, more movement in the body, right? So I want to talk about tomorrow's event. So tomorrow, Wednesday, the 11th, every Wednesday night, 8 p.m., I do events, right? They last about 45 minutes, maybe up to an hour, right? But this is the Tonify event. And it's something that we work on more deeply in a transmission, right? It's focused specifically on supporting your body as we move out of winter and into spring, right? And we'll drop the link here in the chat here in just a second, right? But one of the things I do want to mention is that if you're in our Facebook group, which is the Evolutionary Human with Ken Lloyd, you can put in their requests for the Wednesday event. Also in the YouTube community, if there are things that you want the KDC to work on, at the end of each Wednesday event, I will go through whatever that list is, kind of like you're doing right now, in the chats where you're asking for certain things. But the Wednesday events, when you put it in there, I'm able to go through the list. And obviously with this here, I'm going to do some, but you'll get more on the Wednesday night events, right? So that's the first thing, right? The next thing is the Library of Creation. So last week we did a masterclass, which is simply the team showing up and helping you understand how you could do this work yourself, right? Library of Creation. And there's a replay. In fact, if you look at the YouTube description for this event, down there you'll see a Circle website that you need to sign up for. The Library of Creation is being hosted on the Circle platform because we want to support the community and the members with ongoing information how to use it. But the Library of Creation is where you go to get access to the codes that my team uses in your own way. And it's done very simply through visualizations and questions, right? Show me the energy that's interfering with my ability to love myself, as an example, whatever these things are. But anyways, the replay of the masterclass is available. Check it out, right? Absolutely check it out. You might find interest in this, is how you can do these things yourself. Because what happens here, folks, is you guys are showing up and you're popping in, your requests in the chat, which is beautiful and lovely, right? But I'm just one person, and I need to give you the tools to be able to do this yourself, right? So anyways, the replay is available. It's in there. And again, it's separate than the Ken Lloyd official platform. You're not going to find this in the catalog. It's going to be on that Circle platform. It's causing some confusion, which is why I'm bringing it up. Now, with that being said, my team has been monitoring the chats, and they have a bunch of people who need a bunch of things, right? So the link to the masterclass, again, is in the description of this YouTube live video. And I'm sure we'll probably pop it in the chat here in just a second. So give me a moment here. Let me bring up some of the questions right there. So somebody's got there's a couple of people with toothaches today. What's up with that? Right? But Jenna. I'm going to start working on folks. And your head is ringing with super high frequencies. You're a little more sensitive. But it will simply say that your ability to tune into the frequency band happening right now is overly sensitized. You can say you're moving through a patch of these frequencies. And this is what happens with a lot of us, is that we will hear the frequencies and then they'll disappear. And it's not that we're not tapped in anymore. It's that we move through that band of sensitivity. And this is what's happening with you. And that was MZJ May. Sorry if I can't pronounce this right. Lorraine, since the last live, you had no more mech pain. Awesome. I've got Domino 31 with pain in the stomach due to gastrointestinal sickness. Perfect. Well, not perfect, of course, you were feeling it. But let me jump in there for you. Open them up. And when I say open them up, I'm simply opening up your field and pulling out that trapped energy, creating the distortion in the field. Now I'm going to work on the system. One more. Super cool. Exhaustion. We kind of worked on the exhaustion a little bit with the first activation. Okay, give me a second here. I'm just working through some of these notes. Listen, someone's asking about the addictions, the alcohol, things like that. There is, oh my God, there's an event that we did, an addiction event. You're going to want to consider getting the addiction event from the catalog because it is such a complex, large topic. Yes, we can help, but you're going to want the full replay with that. All right. So restore energy, health, and balance. This is a generalized statement from Aona, I think. So chilero nakarota. Oriere shidatara soreshara kara malera malaya taliaro tono shinatokoro pakura pakuria. Dalama malaria lariara tiriere shiratoriaro to Dorishida Kala Malero, Dorishida Takala Malaria, no Kora Maleta, Alaliana Shida Tarra, Torre Corashida Takarapa Korea, Kora Maleta Kalera Kadesh, Geredo Malero, Toriata, Ritica, Kariapo, Shaliara Torreshida Takara. That'll get you started on that process, my friend. All right. Somebody woke up with shocking lower backache this morning. I don't know if you still have it, but this is Elizabeth. Forget about the reason in the story. Give me a second. Open her up. A lot of trapped emotions in there, by the way. Got a portal open, close it. The reality bleeding over, close that. You should start feeling the relief. Now remember, even though I'm working on these folks, everyone's actually getting their own codes as well, right? All right. So we'll go 222. We'll go here for a little bit more. All right. Teeth grinding, jaw stress, back of ear pain. I'll tell you what, let's work with the teeth grinding, that and jaw pain. Open them up. Contracts 3. Dissolve. Pulling that out. Get a lot in there, my friend. Still pulling it out. Wipe them together. Kalama malaria nakale kulana kaleshkirika. That should give you some relief. All right. Left knee. Koreshira torre to koreshira takara malero ato. Torre torre to kirishkido malaria. Let takareshkido malero color go open that up. Palero auto to correct some childhood trauma left there. Palero koreshkido malero koreshkido malero koshkiriara galera. Come on. Kamalero Kodishiko Malero Kamalero Madaka 3 contracts. Shkidabakina Kamabakitikishka dissolve, Alero to the distortions, Pariamalero to rebuild, Pakalea Shidatariaro, Shirotora Makiri Adakaria. Super cool. Okay, Mariano to Nishinato Mariao Kapoku Kidataya. Heal your spine. Not sure what's going on with your spine. I'll give you some energy for it, though, okay? Mary Boy, her 8393. Bring that down. Shalom Torres Corota Malena Galera Tarero Correto Corabaleria Shida Tarot Corabaro to Kuruto Toroto Kushkuro Malerica Malerica Dedicated Maleta Comala Malero Corshkuro Bacolabalera Tadiatico Shiliartariero Torema Palera Alea Akiri Toria Pocoma Keria. So I got a question here. Is it possible to create a room in the Library of Creation to assist with embodying the state of Christ consciousness? It's not that you would create a room specifically for that purpose, although there is a room of activation, there's a room of knowledge, there is the room, I call it the conference room. You actually talk to your guides. But when you embody that Christ consciousness, you really have done a lot of that inner work. You've removed a lot of the energetic distortions, right, that hold the frequency down. Because remember, we're already there. We just have all of this sandbag, right? So the library across the rooms or different topics will release that energy. And again, move you to that frequency you're looking for. So yes, we don't create a specific room for it. Brendan, I'm sorry. Having pain, inflammation, and tightness in the left bicep, elbow tendon. Dale malere de shira torre de correro 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 kelete calero correro pull that out. Delero condition no condition calero correa balioto, torres no condition calamalera tradish. Paleara calera calera condition no malera malero calmo correa by dissolve. Paleara shiro baraka malero toke shiro malero kaduk malera caledic malera camalera matocoro to magic. Distortions. I actually worked into your shoulder too for whatever reason. Rebuild. Bring this energy down for you. Psoriasis. I got to tell you, I just had an individual who had psoriasis through their entire body. I mean, I got the before and after pictures, right? Literally everywhere, right? And did the session on him. It was only 4 or 5 minute, session, if you will. But one of the things that helped him was to continuing to listen to the social media posts that we do, because the coach were coming in. He's probably 90% clear now, but he's had it his whole life. So can I do some? I don't do magic, right? The KDC just comes in and moves energy. We have 8 contracts. There's something going on with your team. Hold on. There's is magic involved, interesting. Not my magic, but magic we're going to rule. Dissolve. A couple weeks for you. And again, just keep absorbing as much of that light language as you can, right? All right, we're gonna give this another 5 or 10 minutes tops, and then we're gonna jump off here, right? So please remove the yuckies that keep you trapped in tragedy and trauma loop. Interestingly enough, those yuckies are actually some past life yuckies as I look into you. Plethora of them. Open them up. Walk them out. You're reliving the past over and over and over from the past. We're going to remove those timelines. Could you have four different timelines active at the same time on the same topic? Close them down. Tariana karata karata kishkati karata barkarana karishkati karmana ama alero torero karishide tikariaro koriata. Teriara shiratoro shinatara malero maroya. This will get you started in the work you're looking for. Boreara shiratoro de kalemalero tario kurmaliane galero shitu kurmaliale artoro shikutu kurmadekine. So we're going to do this for everyone. I'm just going to clear some of the blockages out, with the, so you can thrive in your own terms, those abundance blockages. Borere shiratore na leri aroto. Urere shirere tarete karate kishkiti kurmalero karate karate kishkiti kurate kurate alere alete rero karate kishkiti kurate kaliate karia. Nara malero korate korate kari kabadere kishkiti kurate malero karate karate badi kurishkura malero malero kabadere karate kishkiti karmalere alete kari karate kari karate kishkiti kuramaro shikiti kishirata. Morearo. Then we're going to raise your frequency up, everyone. Moriere shirtare de corabor torre kishita corto carabalero corabalero torre shito carabara caramadere cadere galactic cadere carabalene canadian caramalene codiero carbadiate cariato corapo torishita caliare cariare tariaro to shit. That should help bring in some of those things you're looking for in 3D life, right? Instagram. Haven't been able to regulate the heart. Open that up. Relationship stuff in here. Malay with self too. All sorts of relationship things going on in the heart. Pull that trauma out. Now working the physical. Show me behind the heart. Unwind that. Pull that up. Okay. Someone's got some dizziness. It's nausea. Yes, if you got nausea during this, right? Yes, dizzy, nausea. We had someone almost pass out in LA because it was so bad, and someone almost thrown up. There's massive amount of energy flowing through you guys right now. For those of you that are sensitive to it. So let me just kind of ground everyone. Pull that. So we're not taking anything away from you. All we're doing is we're kind of slowing down the integration so it doesn't feel so intense for some of you. Give me just some, that'll calm me down. Yeah. Alera kanere kente kono alera aro taro to kaneshine tia morino karaporo to karo to kaleshine kalele aro taro to baria lipedema connective tissue como de shirotoro de cola malere alo tore do corre shinoto ma ale ore shirotoro de shinetia makaria morioro kareshit kireata kin memero tore shikana malero shirotoro pakele malero karo karia shirot koro malereta kin memero tore shikiro to kochkit kidem ka o kao karo aro au kure shineta Comunero Caraboratore, comes to Kurishki and to Corona Koreatica, the Kaletico open the labored breathing. Boris should go to the left lung first. Palero to Correro Calero Shidatar, the Kiloro Corona Shino to Kamalan Maloko Shino Pukide, the right lung. Pacala Maloko should go to close the portal behind him. The reality, close it. Open that up. Pariano Kararoka Malashikino Kumaliata solve, Pakale rebuild, Pariara Shida Torre Shida Rishida Tarki de Kalana Kishida Kalamedico, Torishida Kalala Takaro Taro Tori. Okay, folks. So this is wonderful. I know the list is going to go on and on and on, right? Guys, join the events, right? Again, watch the replays over and over, right? The more you listen to it, the more those codes you get. It's up to you on how much you want to take in, right? Use your own discernment. But there's so many things in the catalog and the live events and the replays, the distant healing. My gosh, folks, the distant healing is the best bet you can get. We'll work on you 4 times in the month, right? And on Monday mornings, I get up at 5 or 6 in the morning. I go through the list and start working on everybody, right? So many options for you folks. But listen, that's it for the live. Do me a favor and just share this with other folks so they subscribe and they can also join and receive. But that's it. Much love to all of you, and thank you for showing up, and reach out to us. And again, the links that you need, the library creation, the event links are all in the YouTube live descriptions as well as the website. Much love. Bye everyone. Give me a second here. Kamalerto au kala shinatamo korpo ko.